Well, hello, folks. Welcome to another What is Kent Up To? It's been quite a while since I've put up a video on this channel, but have a little garden work to do today. We are in mid-January, so I thought, why not do a video on it and start putting a little bit more videos up on this channel. I've been putting up more on my other one, which is Day Tripping with Ken, but I've just not put up too many on this one. I want to kind of get back at it. So let me give you a quick walkthrough of what I'm going to be doing today in the garden here. A beautiful day, Southern California in mid-January. So what I plan to do today is just kind of a little bit of everything. My strawberries are planted in a strawberry box, and this is the time of year I like to get out all the dead leaves and prune those back a little bit, maybe top those off with some soil. My nectarine, pear, and one of my apple trees all need to be pruned back this time of the year. Just kind of top those off, getting those ready for spring. And then we'll take a look at some of my roses, like the one I have behind me right here, and then my front roses as well. A few other things, and if I get a chance, I'll show you a couple of the pruners that I like to use. So just kind of a little mix of everything today. So I hope you enjoy it. So as we see Barney just sunning himself over here, the other two dogs are put off into an area because they were barking up a storm. But I really only have a couple things to do today over in this corner of the yard. The first thing I'm going to get at is the strawberry box, and I'll talk about that in just a moment. I grow strawberries here. I've been growing these strawberries in this box for coming up, probably this is going to be the fifth summer for these. So I need to get in there and clean those out and get that going. Not too much to do on that. And then over here, we've got our nectarine tree. And this is the time of the year that I just like to prune this down. So probably going to take, I think about, I'd say 1.5 feet off the top. Just kind of shape it a little bit, get it back going. Last year, the tree looked fantastic. I had to spray it with copper. I had a video that I did on that, a couple videos, and if I remember, I'll link that. But the tree looked good, the leaves look good. I never got any nectarines off it, and I'm not sure, you know, really the year before I did well on it, so maybe it's, I do notice with this tree, it seems to be every other year that I get a good crop, so we'll see what happens this year. But this is going to be the start of it for sure. So I'm going to get to these very quick projects and take you along. So you can see here, I've already started on the strawberries. I meant to show that on the video, and then I just started up on this and realized I didn't turn on the camera. So there you go. But you can see what's happening here is that this was full of strawberry plants, just like this. And here we are again, we're in mid-January. It's time to kind of cut these back, and which I've already done over here. And I got over to this side, and lo and behold, I actually have strawberries growing. So there's like 3 of these plants here. There's another one there. I am going to leave. So I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna sort of, for lack of a better word, dethatch all this and take out all the dead debris. Then I'm gonna put a layer of soil on here, because you do lose soil over time, probably a couple inches. Pack that back in. No fertilizer at this point. It's mid-January. No point in doing that right now. Okay, so I'm going to get out the rest of this thatch, as I call it, the dead leaves and all. I'm not going to, get too rough with it, but otherwise you're going to, take out a strawberry plant, which that's fine. I'll just put that back in there, and just enough to make a little an area where I can drop in a little bit of soil and really get this a healthy start for 2026. So let me get most of this up, and then I'll put in some soil, and I'll replant this little one, which not an issue at all, because strawberry plants regrow very, very easily. So if you knock one out, don't worry about it. And remember, they spread out a lot anyway. So I could probably even leave that one out of there and not really worry about it. So let me get a little bit more up here, and then we'll be good to go. By the way, I have a drip irrigation in here. So it's buried down a little bit of the ways. You know, it works really well. During the summer, when we get really hot weather, I have somewhat of a mesh cover for this, and then I'll take some of that shade cloth and put it over it, put it up over on the fence right here, just to you know, block the really harsh afternoon sun, and that seems to work well. If I need to supplement it with water, I certainly do that. So let me get this out of here. It's looking good, and now we'll get the soil in. And for this, I'm just using, you know, bag soil that you get. I'm getting a raised bed soil, you know, whatever brand you like. I saw recently one of the garden channels, I think it was Epic Gardening, which I love. They did sort of a test on using different kinds of soils, the really expensive ones. Then, I don't know, I think they actually use Miracle Grow. That's what this is. And then they made their own sort of concoction. And they both did this. If you ever watch that channel, it's excellent, out of San Diego. They own Botanical Interest Seeds and all. But it was Kevin and Jock. And what I really liked about it, they each made their own mix of soil, their sort of proprietary blend. And as it turned out, one of their mixes did really well. One did not. This is with tomato plants, I believe. And I think they did it with something else as well, maybe beans. And then they used a real expensive brand, a real cheap brand, and then kind of the Miracle Grow, something in the middle. And the really cheap brand, whatever it was, did not do great. The really expensive brand did very well. However, the Miracle Grow was just right up there. So, you know, I'm not saying Miracle Grow or any one brand is the best. Get what works for you. So this is the Miracle Grow Raised Bed Organic. I think this will do fine just for what I needed here. No fertilizer at this time, too early in the season. Just enough soil to kind of get this a healthy start. And as you know, whenever you use any kind of container, the soil just disappears. I don't know why. You know, every time it waters, it goes out the drain holes and you lose a little bit. We had some very heavy rains here for Southern California anyway in December. And just about a week ago, for us, that is, you know, I think in 1 week in December, we got about 3 days. We got about 5 inches. A few days ago, I think we got a total of about 3 inches. Again, for us, that's a decent amount. They're telling us now we're finally out of a drought here. So we'll see how that turns out for the rest of the year. Seems to me we always get back in a drought just so they can hike the water prices, right? All right, so let's get this in here. Not worried about if I bury some of these plants because they're going to grow right through that. I am going to be careful. I showed you that I still got some strawberries growing here. So I'm going to lift those up a little bit, and a little bit more I need here. Not too much. This actually looks like pretty good soil. I haven't used this Miracle Grow Raised Bed Organic. You know, got it at Lowe's. I was just over there. I think it was about $9. You know, some of these soils get really expensive, right? Ridiculous. So I'm going to get this in here, get this going, maybe a little bit more. Lift up where I showed you that I had some strawberries growing here. If I bury one, I'm not too worried about it. It's early in the season. So, I mean, we're not even into the season yet. So we'll get a few of that up. I think I'm going to put a little bit more in here, and then I'll be good to go, and I'll replant this, the one that I pulled out by mistake. A little bit more there. And I found another strawberry here that's growing. Not bad at all. So, and then this will be done. This project will be done for at least the time being until it's time to once again fertilize. I think a little bit more here, right over on the edge. I missed a corner here. Then I'll show it to you a little bit close up once I get this done. All right, very good. Get this little guy back in. It came from right here. Just stick it down in there. It actually has a strawberry on it, so there we are. Looking pretty good. And now we'll get on to the next project, which is the nectarine tree. And I'll prune that back a little bit. And right now, here we are in mid-January. That's going to kind of be it for the moment. I'll show you a few other things I'm going to get to probably in a couple weeks. You know, a couple things I want to tell you about if you want to plant some strawberries. There are really three ways to get them. You get them as a seed. You get them as a single plant. You would get that in any garden center, home center, things like that. Or you get what's called strawberry starts, which are basically bare root strawberries. And to me, that is the best way to go. I've tried seeds, had no luck. And you've seen the size of strawberry seeds because they're on the outside of the strawberry. So they're teeny tiny. If you buy a single plant, they're $4 or $5. And, if you just have a single pot and you want to try it out, that's fine. But getting strawberry starts, the bare root strawberries, they usually come in bundles of, I don't know, a 20, 24, something like that. And they price out at about $1, maybe $1.25 each. That is the best way to go. So you order those online. I would suggest first, do not order them on Amazon at all. Look up strawberry starts, bare root strawberries, whatever, and then find an actual company online that sells seeds and sells plants and things like that. I think I got mine from Park Seed, if I recall. I mean, it was like 4 years ago, about 4.5 years ago, and they have done wonderful. Now, there are different kinds of plants to get, and when you go on to these better companies, they're gonna a lot of them ask you for your zone or your region, and they'll suggest the correct strawberries for you. But really, there are basically two types in a way. Like tomatoes, you have determinate and indeterminate, meaning with strawberries, you have June bearing and ever bearing. June bearing generally means you are going to get a flush of strawberries all at once. It doesn't necessarily mean it might be in June, depending on your season and where you live, but you'll get them for a few weeks, and then that's it for the year. Those are great if you're somebody who wants to preserve berries and you want to make jam and you want a lot at once. That's what that's good for. Also, if you live in an area you have a very short growing season, like in the northern areas of the country, if you live up in Canada, Alaska, and things like that, you might only have 6 weeks, maybe 2 months at most of what you would consider a growing season for berries. So you'd probably want to go with the June bearing. Now, the other ones are called everbearing. Like the name implies, as I showed you, I've got some berries here in mid-January, kind of unusual, but they will bear fruit for months. You may not get a whole lot at once, but then when the season starts going, you can get quite a few. There's days I'll come out here, I might get, maybe 10, maybe a dozen or so, which is perfect for us. You put them on your cereal or have them for a snack. And, we'll get those for months and months and months. The other nice thing about strawberry starts like this, most strawberries, as I said, are perennials. They'll come back year after year after year if you take care of them properly. As you've seen here, what I've done in January, I've cut these back, put some topsoil on. No fertilizer at this point. I'll give fertilizer probably in the May or something like that. That's about all. And then throughout the season, I'll give some just some basic organic fertilizer for fruits and things. You can buy some berries. There's things called berry tone. Don't really need those for strawberries. Those are for acid-loving berries, such as blueberries. You can just use regular fertilizer for this, plant tone, whatever you want. And they'll come back year after year. So again, what you end up getting, you want to get appropriate for your region and obviously appropriate for your time frame of growing, what works best for you. I like the everbearing. As I said, I think these are called frescas, if I'm not mistaken. But one more thing to tell you, we are in mid-January here. This is the time to go online and look what's available and pre-order them. Most of these places, what they do, they wait to the appropriate time to ship those to you. And they get shipped just in a box. They're wrapped in plastic. They're kept moist. Sometimes there's sawdust in there, something like that. They come in a bundle. You undo the bundle, you put them in the ground. Simple as that. And you can go online and find all kinds of videos on that. So that is what I suggest. All right, so let's get after pruning the nectarine tree. And really what I want to do is just take off about 1.5 feet off the top. And then I kind of shape the whole tree to do that, and kind of follow that line. Anything that I have any crossing branches in there, any dead branches, that sort of thing, I'll take that off. And that's really all I need to do at this point. No fertilizer is needed. It's way too early for that. Just want to get a little maintenance on this tree going. So let's have at it. All right, so I'm about halfway done. And again, my method is I kind of go to the center first, figuring out how high I want the tree, and then I kind of cut outward to try and match that. Now, I'm not saying my method is the right way it works for me. This tree, if I let it go, would probably be another 5, 6, 7 feet tall. So I have to keep at it. I don't want it to grow over the wall. And if I just let it go, even during the season, I might have nectarines on here. I often have to come in and prune it back, just the tops of it, just to take care of it. So I'm going to thin it out a little bit more, and then we'll be good to go. So I'm pretty much done here. I saved a couple for last here just so I can get a little bit more of a close-up. So what I generally like to do on branches that are coming out, new growth here, I want to leave probably about 3 or 4 buds. Maybe less than that, maybe only 2, just depending on how long they are. So like this one, I'm going to leave 3 on. Over here, I'm going to leave 3. And over here, it looks like I'm going to leave 3 as well. And again, it depends which way they're facing out. I'm standing on my lawn here. We don't have a big yard. So if this is going to grow out over where I'm mowing, that's not going to do me any good. So I really try and sort of shape this tree that fits the small space that we have here. Being right next to a wall, there's a road on the other side here. And the fact that where I'm standing right here, I mowed down this area. So again, I'm not saying what I do is right or wrong. I'm sure a lot of people who are watching this might be screaming, going, no, he's doing it all wrong. But I kind of work with what I have and what fits my yard for this nectarine tree. As I said, if I let it go, this is a dwarf tree. Dwarf trees can get 15 feet too high, or 15 feet high. I want to keep this where if I'm having a step stool, I can go up and get the peaches that I need. So I'm going to finish this up real quick, and then I'll give you kind of an overview, and then show you a couple other things that I'm not going to do today, but will be coming up soon. By the way, all right, so here are the Disneyland roses. They are looking fantastic. I've had these for about, I want to say at least 10 years. They were developed for Disneyland's 50th, which was actually 20 years ago. Probably had these like 10 years, maybe 12 years. They are looking so good. I'll probably wait another few weeks before I take these down. These are Floribunda roses, so I want to prune these down in probably about 3 or 4 weeks, but I'll give us a chance to enjoy these beautiful flowers right now. They usually flush about 5 or 6 times a year. We got so much rain, and then we got some nice, fairly warm weather that they are doing fantastic. And over here is a Julie Andrews rose. Those flowers have pretty much died back, although there is a bud on the top right there. and the plant is looking great. I've had this for about 2 years. So again, I'll wait 3 or 4 weeks and then probably, mid-February, prune these down because they do need it for sure. I want to take those down. And these type of roses you can do a couple times throughout the year. Last year, I actually did them in summer because they were not looking very good. They got a lot of mildew on them. We get fog in June, so they had a lot of mildew on them. So I just took them down to maybe a foot above the ground, and they came right back. So they are looking good. Got this brace here, this wood, because we had a lot of wind over the last few days. So that just ensures that the older fence won't fall down. This is what our front roses are looking like in mid-January. Not great at this point, but I refrain from pruning them too early because one, I like to wait till about mid-February or so. That'll be a month from now. And then the other reason is they get these beautiful rose hips on them that develop and get that orange reddish color, sort of like a bonus when you've got certain varieties of roses. And they look absolutely beautiful during the late fall and on through December and January. I know some people who live in colder climates that get snow, and a lot of the leaves may drop off of your roses, but you'll end up with these beautiful rose hips in the stark white snow, and it looks absolutely spectacular. So I leave these going for a little bit. Once we get into February, all these roses out front here will be 2 years old. That's when I got them. They all came from Jackson Perkins. These are the black cherry tree roses. They're actually a grafted floribunda. And then this is a floribunda. The variety is called Moondance. And along the front walk in these pots here, I have these begonias here. I got a couple pots of these. These are doing great. I think I got these in October at, I think it was Green Thumb Nursery. And they're just perfect. They're perfect for the holidays and really beyond. They are doing quite well. We've had perfect weather for it. They can take the cold. They can take some heat. By the time we get to the hotter weather, I don't think they'll do all that well, but I'll keep them in there as long as we can. If you looked at my older videos, I had that watering method in here where I had a bucket at the bottom and a tube where I could fill it up and then it would wick up the water. I did take that out for the winter because we got so much rain, it was just getting root rot down there. So I took that out, planted these in, and they are looking good. You always forget one Christmas item that you did not put away. And I did not put away my fake poinsettias. It's all right. I'll keep them up for January. Two. Well, folks, thank you for watching. I know, again, on this channel, What is Ken Up To? I have not posted a video for quite some time. But if you're watching this, I really do appreciate it. You can go back and see some videos I did about the yard, and particularly this nectarine tree, how I had to spray some copper on it last year. I think I did that in March and then another time in May because we get leaf curl on this. But you can watch those if you want. But I'm going to try and put more content up in this channel, but I really do appreciate it, especially the start of the new year, mid-January, getting the yard slowly back in shape. And it's a lot of fun. I do enjoy this, especially when we have a nice day out. The last 2 weekends, it seems like every weekend we've had some rain all the way through December. Just happened to be on the weekend, so I couldn't do too much. So it was nice to get caught up today. I thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.